Okay, we've got Kiegan paired up with Matt Olson, first baseman of the A's here. Let's go ahead and watch them one time through, and then we will break it down a little bit. Okay, so let's try to get Matt back to the start here. Sorry, wrong direction. There we go. Okay, from the beginning, nice relaxed approach from Keegan. Nice athletic stance here. And let's go into the load and just see what we have here. I like the little bat wiggle, nice and relaxed. We get into the load here. Let's take a look at his head movement. We don't want to see too much of it. I don't think we have a drastic move here. But anytime we have a little bit of vertical move like that, we want to avoid that if we can, because we do have that little drop down of the eyes. Let's watch Olson here. He's kind of already started his load a little bit, but there was almost very little movement until he starts this move towards the baseball. A little bit of vertical, actually a little bit more than you would see with most major leaguers there. So quite a bit. Let's take a look at what Keegan does at the actual launch position, which is when this front heel hits the ground right there. Looks to be a little late on the pitch, just from the standpoint we're just front tossing here. And let's get Matt Olson to his, who's got an extremely long stride. Obviously, two totally different stride lengths here. And Keegan we may want to talk about increasing that stride length a little bit to help with the separation of the hands and that front foot. Obviously, a drastic difference here. One thing that I did talk to Keegan about already, and I'll point out here, is if you notice the direction or the height of his shoulders, his back shoulder relative to his front shoulder, that line's not a very good line, but his back shoulder is definitely lower than his front shoulder here, whereas you see Matt Olson is the complete opposite, and you'll find that most major leaguers are the complete opposite there. And they do that to maintain that nice launch position, which, as we've always discussed, is the knob of the bat facing down at the catcher's feet or at the catcher. I would say that Keegan's almost there, but I would like to see, and it's all relative to the shoulder angles, I'd like to see that barrel a little more upright, 45-degree angle, where we've talked about having if we had a picture frame and we were to put it right above the head, that's where the barrel of the bat would be, or somewhere straight up and down, kind of like Olson's is. Lays back a little bit, but somewhere in that range. We're not far off there, but I think it's all relative. If we can work on that shoulder angle, which the thought process there is working above the baseball. Not that we're trying to chop down at it at all, but if we think to ourselves, work above the baseball, and there's some drills we can do to help reinforce this, all that really does is help maintain that launch position. If you'll watch as Olson goes through, this top hand palm turns up very quickly. We want to always do that quickly because notice how his bat is now in the zone. It's already in the zone. So if he's behind the ball, he's good to go. If he's on time, which he is now, hitting it right on that front foot, perfect. And see how through contact, barrel stays in the zone. So even if he's early on it. So he's got a lot of time spent in the zone by starting with that top shoulder above the front and then just turning that top hand palm up and into the ball, into the zone as quickly as he can. To the ball and through the ball. That does not mean that we're chopping down. You can see he's starting from a more upright position and certainly not chopping down at the ball at all. So let's go work Keegan. He does do a very nice job of turning the top hand palm up quickly and getting the barrel into the zone, no doubt about that. I do think that in an ideal situation, again, it's all relative to staying a little taller, a little longer. I think that's a quick fix here. But I would like to see, this hand position a little bit higher to start. Once we are talking about from the load position there, or the launch position rather. just like Olson does here. That's where his would start, right about shoulder height or slightly above. If we take it through, let's clear the circles out here. If we take it through contact, you can tell looks like a middle pitch, but he's a little behind it here. So that's more of just a timing thing there. He is kind of in and out of the zone, something that Keegan and I have talked about. He's kind of in the zone and out a little quick there. But some of this is relative to him trying to avoid getting jammed up on the front toss pitch here. See how Olson just stays down and through the ball, continuing down that line. If we think to ourselves, take our top hand palm, and if we were to have look at the line, the inside of the batter's box here, and just take our top hand palm down that line as far as we can, to and through contact, work on staying a little bit taller, and we got some drills we can do that. I think obviously this is a powerful swing, but just a couple minor changes I think will help so that we don't have to be so perfect with our timing all the time, and can avoid some holes in the swings here with certain pitch locations that we've talked about. So all in all, a lot of good stuff, obviously. Good job, Kiegan.